So right now, I would arrange with the organizers to give us 10 to 15 minutes discussion because we didn't start on time. So I will not summarize anything. I would like us to start discussing if there are any questions to understand, to shed more light on some things you didn't understand. If there are contributions, we'll start with that. Then secondly, we are going to adopt some concrete proposals so that when we go back, we'll be able to work with our executive bureaus of WAPES and with Marie from Brussels for us to see what progress we'll make before the next activity. Thank you. Please, can the hostesses help me to take the microphone around? So the floor is open for whoever wants to take it. My left. Thank you, Mr. President. You please introduce yourself. My name is Somo Valerie. I'm representative of Pradat here. I have two questions. I have two questions. Three questions, but they are very short questions. The first question goes to the representative of the ILO. I want to know if in the policies implemented by the ILO, there is no aspect on decent employment by public employment services, because if the Director General of the National Employment Fund was talking yesterday about a considerable number of youth who have found jobs, it should be noted, however, that the majority of these youth have found precarious jobs, that is, jobs that don't really allow them to live a decent life. Is there no decent employment aspect in your policies? So, okay, let's call it tools. Do you have any decent employment tools? Second question is on funding of projects. We seem to all agree that to fight unemployment, there is need to focus on training, the training of the youth. But the question that I ask myself is, what about the youth who have been trained already? Because in Cameroon we have engineers who are jobless. Does the ILO, in the proposals it makes to states, can it not suggest that states should set aside some money for project development, because wealth has to be created. For wealth to be created, jobs need to be created. These youth who come out from professional schools, who graduate as engineers, they have projects, but they don't find bodies that can accompany them. So, is there no aspect, sorry, I just want to ensure a member of WAPES, please take it down. You have best practices or good practices. Take down those questions. The delegation from Tunisia and Morocco will answer that question. My last question is from Mozambique. You presented your structure. I would like to know what is put in place as far as training in PES. I'm in Pradat. I know that we organized 2 training sessions. It is very insufficient, and we know that it is not all PESs that benefit from this training. Is there really a training side in your please, I suggest you take his card and talk with him. We discussed with him, but anyway, he will answer the question all the same. You want them to sign an agreement with you, they can do that. Why not? Any other question? Alright, my friend from Mali. Good morning. My name is Sambala Chidibe from Mali. I have two short questions. Question for ILO and a question for Mozambique. For ILO, the tool you talked about, how can countries access that tool? Is it through their PES, or it should go come on, or is the government that should seek it? Second question goes to Mozambique. You talk of regulation of refresher training courses. I want to know more about that and how it is funded. Any other question on the right, please? Next. Thank you for giving me the floor. My name is Eric Mongomba from the National Employment Office of the Democratic Republic of Congo. I really don't have a question, but I want to criticize or bring a proposal. Yesterday, we danced to celebrate the 20th anniversary. I think a person who is 20 has a voter card. He is part of the active population. So, accept and WAPES has come of age. But I am asking myself, is it not possible that this association should come out from their routine? What do I mean? We are attending seminars every day. They tell us mismatch between training and employment. It becomes like some anthem, and I'm sure in the next seminar they'll still talk about it. They talk of definition of employment according to ILO, according to this or that. I think it does not reflect reality, because the same person who works in our country, when you give him a job, you find that he cannot do anything with it, but that same job abroad, he takes it and he can pay his bills. So, I am telling myself, if we have to assess ourselves over the past 20 years, PESs are here, but where are the ministers of education to understand that training starts from education? Where are these ministers who talk of the reforms in education? They are not here. Even if we go back and give them a feedback, which church are we going to preach? Where are the ministers of agriculture who stay in their offices with signatures while agriculture is on the field? They are not with us. Should we continue with this kind of seminars? I think mathematically, if for example, we said in a country everyone is unemployed, what solution can be given to that country? This is my suggestion. Can WAPES not go a step further to give content and even impose itself before government, so that this issue should find a solution? Please, CDB, just take that down. And to land, I think, can we not impose ourselves so that these governments should consider us? In our country, for example, we have assaults, we have war, we have the Ebola outbreak that we have to face. But I believe that there is something more than war, more than Ebola, unemployment. And we who are here are seeking solutions to unemployment, most of us who are here. But those who that's what's on my mind. Thank you. Thank you very much, my brother, for saying what we equally think. Yesterday we talked of means, that there are times where we are given means and we are not efficient. But the problem is there. It's a national debate that should hold, not only in policies, beautiful documents that are put in shelves, that's concrete solutions. Anyway, your statement has been considered. Okay, anyone in the middle? Left? You have the floor. Good morning, comrade. Thank you very much. I totally agree with what the representative from DRC has said, because effectively the issue of employment cannot be solved with PES alone, without the government, without employers, without the workers. I have always said it. It is employers who are even those who are most concerned. But unfortunately, in some African countries that I know, employers constitute a different republic. So much so that most often solutions cannot be found in countries if you don't have a good political will, so that the three actors of the change come together and brainstorm. I said yesterday and I'll continue saying it. PESs should work with companies a lot. And I think the representative of the ILO talked of entrepreneurship. I'm in Cameroon. I've noticed here that in Cameroon there are many entrepreneurs who cannot define a company, what the company is. Someone has a company, but he doesn't know what the company is, how it should function. Better have a company. And because of the use of tools today, yesterday I talked of Jebek. In some countries it is new. When you talk of the provisional management of employment and competencies, it's new. When you ask an employer what if he knows what that is, he doesn't know. So you understand, how can we create jobs with this? We can't create jobs because the company doesn't project itself. There are people who created a company in Yaoundé, but don't go and ask him, are you ready to go and establish a subsidiary or a branch in Douala? That is where the problem of job creation lies. If we cannot train employers and help them understand their role, and if governments don't want to support PESs, I would hammer on this. I'll tell you what I obtained here. From this year, the National Employment Fund budget was divided by 2. So much that at some point we wrote to government and asked them, do you want us to close, to shut down? Your minister is not here. Whether it's here or not, I'm talking as a Cameroonian worker. I don't need. So, there is a problem. When you divide the budget of the National Employment Fund, what do you expect? Do you want it to shut down? There is a problem. What is the problem? The place of PESs. We need to be clear. Yesterday, as we were having lunch, we were discussing, and I started discussing with the representative of the Ministry of Labour who was here, and I told them we are the ones who are asking us to shut the National Employment Fund. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? I totally agree with what he's saying. In such meetings, we should be in a tripartite setting and everyone should take responsibility. And then we can be sure to create jobs. There is a job creation at every step of the way in our own way. But unfortunately, the political will seems to be absent. So I think that PESs will continue to meet, because sometimes you can invite them and they will ask, are you the ones to invite us? And they will not come.
So we should try to see how to solve the issue of unemployment in Africa. But the three stakeholders necessarily need to come together to brainstorm, to discuss. For example, when the representative of ILO was talking about productivity, is there any policy in our country on productivity? When you go to a company and ask how people work, do people work effectively in companies? And what can it bring to growth? If there's a debate on productivity, I've been in Cameroon and I discussed with the Minister of the Economy, and they've never answered me to tell me why they don't want us to talk about productivity in companies. This is all what is part of employment. It's not as if we will sit and we will tell you what we see. In 2004, we're in Addis Ababa in Ouagadougou, but we've never assessed. We had to hold Ouaga 10, but it did not hold because of problems in Burkina Faso. Can it not be organized in another country for us to evaluate and see if we actually applied what we agreed in 2004 and 2009? Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I think we'll have time to write down recommendations for our government. I think we started talking about it since yesterday. It is politicians who have the knife and the yam, kind of. After this sequence of questions, we will see how to formulate recommendations to our governments who, for some countries, reduce resources, and in some other countries, taxes and salaries have been reduced. So I'll give the floor to our colleague from the ILO. I thought that was all. The last person to take the floor, please. I was thinking on the statement of our Amtomalanzi, project head for Amari Department of International Relations. Our colleague from Mozambique talked of migration of labor towards South Africa. I would like him to share with other PSs how they went about it to organize this mobility of labor. Is there a bilateral agreement? He talked of something very important, the transfer of funds from South Africa to Mozambique. So South Africa pays money in Mozambican banks. That makes money to come into the economy that can help to fund other economic activities. It's a very positive aspect of labor mobility that needs to be examined further in the context of experience sharing. Thank you. I hope you took down the question, dear colleague. Even though we'll keep coming back to some of the good practices on labor migration. So our colleague from the ILO has the floor. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I think I noted only one question. Tools of the ILO, if the ILO has not developed tools for PSs. Generally, it is the job of the ILO to elaborate tools. I don't know all the tools that the ILO has elaborated or developed, but there are so many tools on various themes and problems that the ILO puts at the disposal of countries to address the various employment issues. For example, there is what is called HIMO, a specific tool for labor-intensive investments. Microphone, please. Manage your company better. There are other
tools on capacity building. But in short, if you need a specific tool, I will give you my phone number. You can go to the ILO. If you need any specific tool from the ILO, go to your country of residence, contact them, and then you'll see how to make this tool available to you. Now, on the website of the ILO, you have a number of tools that are available, and you can have direct access to these tools. So to complement that answer, yesterday in Togo signed the tool known as PPCD, that's Country Program for Decent Employment. So the various dimensions are in these documents, and the impact as well are well outlined. I think Cameroon already has something like that with the ILO. Just refer to that. Another way is, Cradat is well known. So Cradat can ask for tools. I, for one, have asked for these tools from ILO without necessarily going through my minister. Let's not always be bureaucratic. You can write your application, you associate other ministries concerned, then you go along, you go ahead and apply for the tool you need. Okay, our friend from Mozambique, you have some questions to answer. Thank you for your questions. I will start with a question on professional internships. This work is done by our service. We prospect. So we go out of our offices, we go to companies, we ask them to open their doors and receive the youth between 15 to 35, and women and handicapped persons. There is no age limit. Given that companies have a social responsibility, we tell them to accept the youth for 6 months or 12 months highest. So they stay with this youth. Then there is a coach that is assigned to them, and at the end of this period there is a certificate that is issued by our structure and the company. The purpose is to help them integrate the labor market so that 10% of youth who go from professional internship are recruited. The others who are not recruited have the capacity to seek other jobs, and others can benefit from the materials we give to start up their own businesses. The regulation provides that these companies can benefit from tax incentives, but unfortunately my country has faced some serious challenges recently, so much so that all our partners have left, have stopped giving support to our budget, and we had issues with setting up these profits that are found in the regulations in force. That's why I said there is a promise by the president that from next year he would allocate more money for these projects through the creation of the policy of self-employment. So there'll be money to help companies that receive the youth. So they will subsidize their food, their transport allowances, and so on. But right so far, we are satisfied. That's why we're working in partnership with companies, and we think that in the midst of difficulties, they do what they can to help our youth. Now, on migration with South Africa, how did you succeed to have agreements with South Africa to transfer your youth? The Minister of Labour of Mozambique, the Minister of Labour of South Africa came to an agreement to allow money to be transferred to Mozambican banks, because at first it was a private agency that took care of it. A private agency, a South African private agency. You imagine coming back to Mozambique to receive your money? Was dangerous. But right now, the money goes straight to the banks. After a year of work in South Africa, the money is sent to the bank and it stays there, and it can be used for the Mozambican economy and even for the families that stayed back in Mozambique. So the role of our service is to help Mozambicans go to South Africa. Now, on the training aspect, if you remember yesterday, I asked the director yesterday afternoon what were their training languages in Cradat. He said French. So unfortunately, I don't know if you can have a possibility to have lectures. You cannot be teaching only in French in a bilingual country. You are not competitive. In Mozambique, English is our second language, so we work with English and the Turin Center. Every 3 months, we send our technicians to Turin to be trained. Thank you. So we'll conclude. The various problems raised on vocational training are due to the incapacity of our systems, statistical, economic, to anticipate competence in the short and medium term. We have tools from the ILO today that you can seek. One is STED, STED. Go to the website of the ILO and you'll find this tool. If you ask support of the ILO from Cameroon or Abidjan or Dakar, an STED team would attend to you. If you take the logistics transport sector, this tool, with the involvement of actors and stakeholders, you'll be able to see the needs of a given sector. It requires 2 to 3 months, in which at the end you will bring out this strategic competence of this sector. So consensually you validate priority sector by priority sector. No one would say schools should be created in schools, eat the money of 2 million people without taking people out of unemployment. There is a BMO investigation it gives you expression of needs of employment for 1 year in a company, and with that you can exert pressure on government, and you as a PES, you can better orient people, so no one can say he doesn't know where he's heading to. So the two tools, we are implementing them in Togo for Pole Emploi. They will help us with the money from the UNDP towards the end. When I go back early October, we'll validate the competence strategy on the road, rate, air, and sea transport. It's dynamic, it's possible. From time to time, you would carry out investigations on the efficiency of the system. No government will tell you it is ignorant. Therefore, you determine. If you do sociology, automatically you'll be unemployed. So, with that, you'll be able to tell the youth, if you do sociology in huge quantities, there will be you'll be no jobs. Mr. Moderator, we are running out of time. Well, we need to hit the nail on the head, so we don't just come here and talk from fine language. On other points, I think our colleagues from Morocco, Tunisia, when they will take the floor, they will give us the good practices they have noted on which we can profit. So I will thank my colleagues around the table, a friend from Mozambique, Cyrano, and Mr. Dinga from Cameroon for this sharing, though I was a little violent from time to time. There are things that we can do. We must not always ask for permission from the minister. I can go ahead, take the initiative, and then give an account later to the minister. You need to have the necessary aura. If you just need to know how to apply tact to whatever you do to get what you want. Thank you.